Hello, everybody. What's today's date? The 4th or the 5th? I'm not sure on today's date. That's the 3rd. Today is March 3rd, 2025. I want to thank my sponsor, Louis, for making the frappadaki. Thank you. And tonight we're going to talk about forgiveness and where to begin with forgiveness. Forgiveness is unique to everybody. Everybody has their reasons. Everybody has um, a way to blame or to be hurt by something or someone or even just a thought. Um, Forgiveness is a topic that is pretty broad, only because, again, it's a self reflective um, process. The thoughts that go into forgiving are very personal, and everybody's personality is different. Hello, everybody. Now, there is 13 different types of personalities on this planet, and because there is so much vast um, information, so to speak, forgiveness is just not a simple word, um, because it is an internal process that the enlightened don't hold on to, because we are not focused on the primary howdy. We're not focused on the primary dysfunction or function of a certain thing. It's hard to explain. And forgiveness has a beginning, and most of the time, um, the people who have hurt us, we still interact with. The people that we need to forgive is truly ourselves. The people that we need to forgive is truly ourselves. And when we forgive ourselves, we're allowing ourselves to be physically altered, because having certain pain in your shoulder or your knee or your hip or your bicep or whatever it is, having acne, having a bad digestive system, having a lot of like health ailments is because we hold on to such resentments. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we hold on to things because we cannot forgive ourselves. Okay. And that's the primary cause of, in the beginning of a lot of self-stacking issues that we create that cycle of dysentery or mental dysentery. I don't know the proper word, but basically we're hoarding up our brain with knowledge and information that does not serve us, basically. And if it happens from an external source, that external source also have that same problem going on in their brain. Okay. Does that also go for babies? Babies are programmed by their parents. They are programmed by TV. They're programmed by many different sources. They're programmed by family. Babies don't have a sense of forgiveness until they see their reflection in the mirror and that reality all of a sudden hits them and they forget who and what they were. Okay. Disease and forgiveness is another step because disease and forgiveness goes on when it's stacked internally, an individual over a period of years. And when you hit to be my age, if there is a lot of things that we are holding on to that we have not released, it starts to play on the physical form. Okay. And that's why forgiveness is an internal process. It's not an external, I forgive you. It's an internal process of letting go what is that you are holding on to as substance. Okay. So when you are a baby, you do not have that holding on to capacity. Yes, everything gets stored and everything gets planted and everything gets compiled in there to reach teenagehood. And then 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, it starts eating at you because things have not been released. And it could be a very simple thing. Like I saw my cousin's tits. Ooh, big friggin' deal. But people will shame themselves or people will hold on to this as a bad reference to themselves because they see themselves differently at the point of that event actually happening. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Louis?
Yes.
He does. Okay. Because it's that's what I said. It's different for everybody. It's not the same for everybody. And that internal process that we have to forgive is especially associated with the soul itself. And the matrix of the soul of who and what you are has a complete 360 ball, so to speak, of possibilities, right? And resemblances. And this resemblance is very subtle. And unless, again, you are enlightened, you are within, it's hard to see. Okay. Now, I'm using that word because to enlighten myself means to awaken. To awaken, I am integrating system and mind. Okay. There's a big difference. And the interaction of self forgiveness to the rest of the world is the most powerful tool you have to not only help yourself grow and expand, but to help others understand that it is a very special process to forgive. Okay. Religiously, there is pretty much the same language to forgive and not hold grudges. Esoterically, that forgiveness is an ongoing process because of karma or the wheel or whatever it is. And the true problem is um, it affects our meat bag, our system, our physical expression. Okay. So, um, so the soul could be the reason why you may be born with something like eczema. No, sir, that is not it. Hi, how you doing? So the problem truly exists in the ability to self-forgive. Okay, the ability to self-forgive is not transcendent, Bill. to another life form, to another lifetime. The ability to self forgive is present only. Present meaning you're in here now, you're out tomorrow, and that's if you didn't forgive yourself, then there was a reason why you didn't forgive yourself, and that's for you to figure out the next time around. All right. So the problem is we hold on to things that we feel have hurt us, have offended us, have a different viewpoint than us. You probably heard me say this 100 times, but if you're in a certain mood and you're just chilling or you're just focusing on whatever you're doing, and somebody else walks into your space, all of a sudden you're starting to change the way you feel, and all of a sudden you're angry, all of a sudden you're anxious, or whatever it is that you were not 10 minutes ago until this person walked in. Truly ask yourself, is that me or is that other person? And 9 out of 10 times, that's the other person, and you're feeling that energy coming off of them, and you're reflecting that same exact aspect of their being as it's going on at that moment. So it's the same thing with forgiveness. Okay. We cannot see what has, we cannot see what is aggravating us. We cannot see what is offending us. We cannot see what is hurting us. At the same time, it is very real that someone else is offending us, hurting us, giving us things that we hold on to as our own actions. Okay. So because somebody hurt you, you didn't ask for it, you didn't want it, you didn't choose it, they did. Okay. So we don't see the line of self forgiveness because the external, you, are causing an effect on me. Okay. And in simple terms, it's like I'm going to hurt myself because you wanted to hurt me. Huh? And that's what we're doing. So, forgiveness of even the worst thing that ever happened to you has to be for yourself first. You have to forgive yourself in order to forgive them. Okay. And forgiving yourself has to do with the true acceptance of your being in control of that emotion, of that same specific thing that happened. Maybe it happened 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago, a day ago. Everybody's different. Okay. But that specific thing that happened that you hold on to goes from being this big in your timeline to encompassing your whole entire being, and like a Pac-Man gobbling you up. And next thing you know, you're starting over. So that forgiveness is truly a personal thing. It's a personal endeavor to release what is plaguing you. And if the external is plaguing me, then I have to find a way to push it back that way. Huh? I've been what? Gobbled up. I don't know what that means, sir, but okay. If you've been gobbled up, it means that you are digging yourself a hole, climbing in it, and making it deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deeper that hole gets, the harder it is for you to get out. I don't know. What does that mean? Does that mean that you can't forgive yourself. The people, well, not the people. What people have to understand is everything is as it should be. Everything is as it should be. So if I walk out and I get hit by a bus this second, then it was meant to be, and that's how it should have been. Okay. If I get butt raped by a 500,000 pound gorilla, then that's what it was supposed to be. And I'm not going to fight it and say, okay, that was supposed to be. Is it going to hurt? Absolutely. Is it going to suck? Absolutely. But if I sit there and make it my own, then I have not forgiven myself. Okay. So even at the worst circumstance, even at the worst point of anyone's existence, the self forgiveness is the most powerful tool you have in your arsenal for an inward existence. Okay. Because that inward existence is what really projects outward, and the outward no longer has that effect that where forgiveness is necessary. Does that make sense? Because if you allow it, then it will take hold. And like I said, a hoarder's house gets dirty piece by piece. Um, well, the emotional hoardage that we all share gets bigger and bigger piece by piece. And the sooner you start cleaning out that emotional, I don't know, mishaps, you want to call them? What do you want to call them? Life has its ways, and life has many different curves and hills and mountains and streams, and you want whatever you want to call it. Life is, and it's a beautiful thing. And consciousness itself does not allow us to share the little nuances of each personal forgiveness, but the the subtle effect, or the subtle effect of self forgiveness, is one of the most powerful tools you have. And on this realm, um, what the hell do I say on my notes here? And on this realm, the solutions are not easy, because the solutions could mean a lot of different things. And the solutions can mean psychiatrists prescribing you drugs. Uh, Solutions could also mean, um, oh, I don't want to go down that road because it's a scary road. But the solutions to non forgiveness, wait, that makes no sense. The solution, no, there is no solution if you can't forgive yourself, because you must forgive yourself first in order to forgive somebody else or something else. And there is no solution in giving yourself that respect to forgive yourself. And we take out every single day, we take ourselves seriously, and that should be forgiven. Okay. But that's my opinion. I mean, this whole talk is my opinion, and this whole talk is not mine. I don't own it. Sorry, I just don't. Okay. So how do you get to the outcome of self forgiveness? Well, you can self forgive by, ooh, crap. Did you hear that? Forgive me, Mr. Chair. I just broke you. Um, there's meditations to forgive. So there is self forgiveness meditations. There is talking to people about the infractions that will open up doors to self forgive. There is focusing in nature Ra. Ra means barefoot. Focusing in nature, being in that sun, being in that heat, being in that cold, being in that wind is a refresher course how spoiled we are. And that forgiveness truly means our existence is a beautiful thing. And the other solution again is go seeing a doctor, a butcher. And those people will basically take control and bleed you dry of your financial whatever. Plus, they'll put you on drugs and you forget about having an opportunity to go inwards. Okay. So that is the beginning. And the data on this forgiveness thing is really not valid because it's such a personal existence that forgiveness in its own, how do you compile that data? Because there's different types of personalities and these pieces, everybody's different, and that self-forgiveness is a very powerful self. Okay, so that is my spiel on forgiveness. I kept it as simple as I could. Does anybody have a question? Okay, because I am going to keep this simple. Who has been having a hard time sleeping as of late? I've been having a horrible time sleeping. I know Louis has been having a horrible time sleeping. I know Carol's been having a horrible time sleeping. Julia's been having a hard time sleeping. So, uh, brought to you by Frappe. Yes, sir. Derek's been having a hard time sleeping. I don't know what that means, Val, but a lot of people have been having a hard time sleeping. I wonder why that is. Is there any reason why we cannot forgive ourselves for not properly sleeping? Right? Okay, I got you now. So, but you have a good excuse, that belly. So, I, I, it is a mystery to me why I'm having a hard time sleeping. I just don't know. 4, 5, 6 hours sleep, and it's not a constant sleep. It's very strange. So, no, it's not stress, Julia. I do not know what it is. Waking up a lot, yes, but not just waking up. Nah, I don't want to say what I've been doing, but it's not stress. Valerie says, been being awake for hours at a time in the middle of the night with my mind racing, unable to fall back asleep until I cry. Then I end up falling asleep again. I am sorry to hear that, Val. For me, I put on YouTube and I watch the dugouts and I watch how they make bricks and I watch how to woodcraft, bushcraft. That's the only thing that will help me fall back asleep. But when you're slugging yourself from a third person coming in and out of your body, it's pretty tense and pretty traumatic. And that's what's been happening to me. Um, I know Kalia has been having a hard time, or Louis, sorry, has been having a hard time sleeping. And it sucks. It really sucks. But I'm not the only one, so that's why I'm asking everybody, and everybody's having a difficult time sleeping. So, physically or energetically, I'm sorry, Miss Julia, that yours is some stress. So there's something going on, and it's affecting how we're able to contribute to the realm during our sleep. Okay. Well, no need to cry. The crying, the emotional aspect of it, is a form of forgiveness. You have to forgive yourself only because if you allow an emotion to charge up your system, you're having a really hard time adjusting back to sleep. Okay. For me, I just look around, what the hell's going on? I'm sitting up like a friggin' Dracula in his coffin or something. I don't know. All right. So, any questions on forgiveness, guys? I want to see if I can keep these under half an hour, um, only because I feel YouTube is shadow banning. Um, it's hard to explain. I I know there's something going on. Okay, so from having other channels to this one is far more entertaining than the other ones. Trust me. Alrighty. So there is no more questions. There is no questions. Alrighty. I'm gonna call it a night then. And everybody, I'll see you all Wednesday. Peace.